As of me uploading this video, I have been consistently posting on YouTube for 1 full year. We ended the year with 39 videos posted, more than $6,000 raised for charity, over 2.5 million total views, and over 40,000 subscribers. I'm super grateful for everyone who has supported the channel and helped me grow. Sure, it's not the craziest growth story YouTube has ever seen, but I am still in disbelief that I was able to more than quadruple my end of year goal. Today, I want to talk about my YouTube journey, how it started, how I grew, and share what I've learned in my first year of YouTube. The main purpose of this video is to be the kind of thing that I wished I could have watched before starting. I want this to be a helpful resource to new creators that isn't coming from YouTube gurus or creators who have had years to establish themselves. I'm a guy who is just there and just did it. To address a bit of an elephant in the room, yes, I was actually decently popular on Twitter and TikTok prior to starting a YouTube channel, but I think it's pretty obvious that those audiences did not transfer to YouTube. The content I make on YouTube is wildly different from the content I used to make on Twitter and TikTok, and most attempts to mesh those audiences was pretty unsuccessful. My only advantages from those platforms was realistically a small head start of maybe 80 subscribers. The rest of my growth has been entirely from my YouTube content and the YouTube algorithm. My first hot YouTube tip of the video is to ask people to like and subscribe. Yes, it's cringe. Yes, it's a little annoying, but there is a reason that pretty much every big YouTuber does this. For every person who finds it cringe and clicks off, there are easily at least 5 people who would have forgotten to do it without the reminder. So, yeah, if this annoys you, feel free to engage by writing a really angry comment about it, or just drop a like and sub. It helps out a ton. Anyways, I started YouTube with one goal in mind. I wanted to make stream highlights to hopefully attract new viewers to my live streams. I vaguely knew how to edit, but I wasn't really confident enough to do anything crazy. So I published my first video, What Happens When You Mix Milk and Monster Energy Drink, on January 9th. This video, like almost everyone's first video, is just awful. For what it's worth, I don't think the premise of the video is necessarily awful. I mean, the question posed is just bizarre, but the execution of the video itself is just miserable. Like, off rip, the intro to this video haunts me. One take, no cuts, dead air, no music or anything. It's awkward, it's slow, and there is a reason that this intro lost over 70% of viewers before the video even started. Beyond that, it's pretty apparent this was my first time editing a stream VOD, because it's just not paced very well. While the question of the video might intrigue some people, I don't think the question is worth 15 minutes. People want to see how gross it looks, maybe see me struggling to drink it a bit. If anything, this entire video would probably be better fashioned into a short. One tip that might seem incredibly obvious, but I doubt a lot of newer creators actually do, is to just watch your own videos, like a lot. When you're creating something, you give yourself a lot of unconscious bias. Odds are you are probably at least somewhat interested in what you're making. If you can't even get yourself to sit through the entirety of your own videos, then why should any random viewer give you that time? Watching your own videos is one of the easiest ways to improve at editing. Especially if you watch it multiple times, you can really start to get a feel for where your pacing is lagging. Then, next time you edit, you remember those moments. Should I make this cut? Odds are probably yes. Because I watched this video a few times, I had entirely sworn off doing intros for my next few videos, and just opted for a cold open, which isn't great, but it was better. The main problem with my early videos is just that they aren't very clickable. Again, just put yourself in the shoes of that random viewer who doesn't know you. When you're small, your only real shot to get big views is through homepage recommendations. Now, Garfield Was Found Dead in a Cave might be weird enough to maybe get some curiosity clicks, but It Took Us 3 Hours to Beat One Cuphead Boss is easily the least clickable video I've ever made. If you are a random person, why would you ever click on Cuphead highlights from a streamer you don't know in 2024? The answer is you wouldn't. This is kind of a problem with stream highlights in general. People who like to watch stream highlights like to watch their favorite established streamers. Clicking on a random person they don't know playing FNAF or something in current year is just an unnecessary gamble for them. They don't know what kind of quality, humor, or style they're in for. This isn't to say that stream highlights can't work, but they really need a YouTube-specific draw. Let's Plays are just dead in the water. So enter Pokemon vs. Lions. this video was actually a complete accident. Compared to my other videos at the time, this one is not that much different. It is still just a chopped up stream VOD. I was actually very brave with this one and decided to do another intro, but still neglected to add any background music. Literally, why? I randomly decided to edit this video like a year after we streamed it. So there was also a high chance I could have just forgotten about it. The reason this video got 100,000 views and my other videos got like 200 is because it's packaged well. The concept was trending, people talked about it a lot. The thumbnail is very readable, and despite how shitty it looks, it still pops and conveys info very fast. Didn't matter that the video itself was pretty similar quality to my other ones, it was just presented better on the homepage, which led to more people giving it a shot. When me and RatDoodle originally streamed this, we both kind of assumed that our tone was so ironic that no one could possibly take it seriously or get angry with us. One rule of YouTube is that if there is any possible point of contention in any video, that there will at least be a few angry commenters. Ironically enough, these angry comments are actually probably what boosted this video to get the views that it did. After this video, I could have probably grinded only Pokemon vs. Lions and, you know, continued to grow through that specifically, but I was stubborn and I wanted to grow my other content and not be stuck as the Pokemon vs. Lions guy. In the short term, that decision would tank the views of the Pokemon vs. Lions series, but in the long run, I think it worked out for me. Learning from Pokemon vs. Lions, I had started to try to focus more on better packaging my videos. Mario Kart, but we used the worst rules, and Can I Create Myself in Infinite Craft to me are both much more clickable videos. They convey questions. What is the worst rule set? And how would someone even go about making themselves an Infinite Craft? Those questions can only be answered by clicking on the videos. They still aren't amazing videos by any means, but I think there is a definite improvement in the packaging, and hey, I also started using music in my intros, look what that did for me. I want to highlight this video I made about Sonic and the Secret Rings, not because I think it's particularly great, but because this was actually my first attempt at fully scripted content. Compared to my Pokemon videos, it didn't do super well, but just the fact that I made it gave me the confidence to try creating more involved content. Obviously, Pokemon vs. Lions stayed the same, except this April Fool's video, which I think is awesome by the way, probably the funniest thing to come out of that series. But you could see that I was starting to try to get a little bolder with my uploads around here. The second Infinite Craft video, I was playing around with captions and doing more scripting throughout the video rather than just an intro. This Ring Fit Adventure video is actually still one of my favorites. It was just such a fun event, probably the biggest project I tackled on YouTube at the time. 36 hours of VOD footage converted into roughly 32 minutes of scripted content. It's obviously not perfect, but I think the ambition was pretty cool compared to what I was already making. The video in general is kind of a tough sell, but I think I probably could have done a better job. I originally launched the video with the title of Can You Get Fit Quick? Binging Fitness Games or something like that. I framed the video around that premise too, but I think the video would have been better off if I just packaged it around how grueling it was, rather than the fitness aspect. The answer to the fitness question is pretty obviously no, but the spectacle and journey of playing that game for 3 days straight is just much more enticing in my opinion. One thing I really tried to do with this video was make my editing a little more dynamic. And this is something I still try to improve with every video. The idea being that I want things to come from somewhere. If I'm talking and I have a bunch of PNGs on screen, just having them pop in can look kind of ugly and lazy. Why not just have them slide in or grow or something? It's a simple thing that only takes like 2 to 3 keyframes and really helps make videos feel a little more alive. You don't need like Cocomelon hyper retention type stuff, but just the idea of, oh, that little guy just popped his head up to talk to me. Goes a long way. Around this video, I really started to play around with my content, and I think it's important to do that especially when you're new. A lot of people will give you advice to stay within a strict niche in order to grow, and while I think having some general niche is important, like don't post makeup tutorials on a gaming channel, you definitely have a lot of wiggle room within your general niche to make a lot of different stuff. I started with stream highlights, and I'd slowly been starting to dip my toes in scripted video essay stuff. With this Paper Mario video, I started to make some less edited, more rambly type stuff, and with my other Paper Mario video, I made my first challenge run. When you're small, you really have no obligation to restrict yourself, like at all. Honestly, I feel like chasing things that you want to make like is the better way to go about it. At this point, I kind of decided that I really wanted to make more highly edited video essays, but upload some of the more rambly or stream highlight stuff in between. It gave me an outlet to talk about some ideas that didn't feel right for my higher effort style, and also make it so my uploads could stay relatively consistent. If these Paper Mario and Mario Party videos proved anything to me, it was that having any opinion on video games can constitute unintentional rage bait. Genuinely, this Paper Mario video has probably the most toxic comments I've ever received. Insults, accusations, death threats. It even spawned an entire Twitter controversy that by the time I realized it was happening, it was already deleted and deactivated. Modern Paper Mario fans are fucking ravenous. A quick hot tip I've learned from this video is that putting any tier list in the first 30 seconds of a video will activate the YouTube comment brainworms. It doesn't matter if you say you'll explain it later in the video, it doesn't matter if you say that it isn't very serious, there is just a specific type of person that will see a tier list and instantly pause the video to scan for anything to get upset with. So yeah, if you want more angry comment engagement, try that. I've since avoided making videos where I talk about modern Paper Mario much at all, but I have plans to be a petty bitch and make an Origami King video later this year, so look forward to that or pray for me. The Kirby game everyone forgot about is, I think, the pivotal turning point on my channel. It wasn't my first scripted video or anything, but it was the first time I'd made a full essay without streaming. I think this video is good, and one of the big things I was trying to improve with this video was the intro. Starting with this video, I went into editing with the philosophy to crank out intros at 110% and then slowly cool down throughout the rest of the video. This isn't to say that I don't try with edits later in the video, but I think without over editing the whole video and drastically increasing my time between uploads, being able to make my intros pop more is probably the best bang for your buck I could get in terms of energy allocation. This video did incredibly well and tripled the views of Pokemon vs. Lions. I was excited about this because it was my best performing video and the comments actually had nice things to say. A big contributor to this video's success was definitely the thumbnail. Whenever I get a thumbnail drawn for me, it is by my goat Shooky. I'll link all their stuff in the description and the card right now. In general, the thumbnails I get commissioned actually tend to perform worse than the ones I make myself, and I think this is important. This isn't because Shooky is doing a bad job or anything. The art is actually amazing every time. It's more on me for directing them poorly. Like, look at this Mario Kart one, the first thumbnail I ever commissioned. It's such a cool piece of art, but a cool piece of art isn't necessarily clickable. Zoom out, put it on a small phone screen. Can you even tell what's going on anymore? I mean, all the little details just blend into the background and make it harder to tell what you're supposed to be focusing on. If at any time your thumbnail makes anyone question what is happening, it's already failed. It needs to be able to grab attention and convey the idea at a glance, otherwise people will ignore it. With that said, this Kirby thumbnail doing well makes sense. The Kirbys are cute and sad, the feeling of being forgotten is conveyed instantly, and it kind of tugs on the heartstrings. The background might still be a little distracting, but the colors and lighting add to a sad feeling. This is the reason why a lot of my best performing videos are low effort edits on white backgrounds. Everything just pops more, it's been stripped down to the essentials, and the only prerogative here is to convey the message. There is no greater artistic meaning. I tried to replicate this video's success a few times. The Mario game Nintendo wants you to forget about, and Snowboard Kids 2, Mario Kart's forgotten rival. I think both these videos are good, but they did not perform nearly as well as I'd been hoping. I thought with that Kirby video, I could just make videos about cool nostalgic games and get views, but there was something about the Kirby video that made it different. I think it's probably a combination of the thumbnail and Kirby himself. I feel like with YouTube, sometimes things can feel certain and then just fall flat. No video is gonna be a guarantee, but the most important part of that is not letting it get to you. After every big video, there will eventually be a fall back down to the average. Keep posting what you want to make, and oftentimes that is the stuff that will resonate. My next big video was the one about the Patrick Star game, and I'm really proud of this one because of my intuition. With both Kirby and Pokemon vs. Lions, I wasn't really expecting much when I uploaded them. I had a feeling about the Patrick Star game ever since I saw the game announced. This was the first video where I would post it feeling confident about it popping off, and I was right. I think this game just hit the perfect sweet spot of being something that no one really asked for, and even less people really talked about. All of that while being a recognizable IP that people are fond of, and being so broken in the most fun ways. People I told about this video before the game came out said that it was random or no one would care. It just felt good to feel like I was developing the intuition for what works. After Patrick, I made a video on the new Mario Party, and then I made a Mario Party challenge run where my ability to collect coins was disabled. I thought this was my best video and felt like I had that intuition again where I'd stumbled onto a great idea. I mean, no coin challenges are extremely popular in challenge running, and no one had ever done anything like this with a Mario Party game before. I even got Shooky to cook up a cute, sad pink creature crying in a box thumbnail. I felt so good about this video. So for some reason, I decided to upload it on election day. Yeah, cool tip, check what day you're uploading stuff on. I don't think that's the only reason this video failed, to be fair. I think while the idea is interesting, it's hard to convey how interesting it actually was from just the thumbnail and title alone. Some people might think the challenge is me not spending any money or something like that because the rules of my challenge just are not possible without mods. I don't think the idea really clicks for people until they see that my coin count won't even go up for the first 10 coins everyone gets at the beginning of the game. This one stung, but I decided to keep making ideas I thought were valuable. The Kirby vs. Yoshi one didn't turn out my favorite, but I was surprised that no one had really compared them before. Mario RPG one I thought could be useful for people who aren't already introduced to any of these series, and the Wolverine video, I just wanted an excuse to post clips of me and my friend farming Hulk-throwing Wolverine at Iron Man. This video did well pretty much exclusively because of the Marvel Rivals hype, and after that, I decided to end the year with my best video yet. This was another one of those intuition moments. I thought of Scribblenauts when looking for nostalgic games to talk about, and when I thought of a minimum words challenge, I figured someone had to have already done it. It just seemed so obvious. But I saw there was a hole there, and knew the video could be huge. There are actually multiple instances of me in the weeks leading up to this video's release saying that I was confident it could hit 1 million views. I knew with an idea like this I had to do it right. I got into contact with Soap, who helped me understand the game and tricks a lot. I played through the game multiple times, I checked myself a few times, I rewrote the script a lot. The script ended up being over 10 pages, and recording it took me an actual hour. I made sure to release it before Christmas. I just knew that this video had the potential to be great, and that feeling of trusting your intuition and it paying off even greater than you could have imagined was the best way to end my first year. This video skyrocketed me from around 8.3k subs to where I am now. But the success of that video could not have happened a year ago. 1 year ago, I didn't even have the intuition to think of something like that. I didn't have the ambition to even put the months of work into making it a reality. And I most definitely did not have the skill to package or even edit a video like that. The one thing I want this video to emphasize is that growing on YouTube won't just happen instantly. 99.9% of creators will not have their first video blow up. I only experienced growth because I was okay with uploading garbage, but I wanted to improve. Every video I uploaded had some sort of little thing I could latch onto and fix for next time. You don't get the skills you need to make an incredible video unless you make tons of slop first. Experiment, play around, see what feels good. If you get a random hit, try to figure out why it was a hit. Was it a thumbnail? Title? Your editing? What's the retention looking like? Why do people want to watch that but not your other stuff? It's easy to blame the YouTube algorithm, like, if only this video just got more impressions. But I think there is a 90% chance that any given video failing is more of a reflection on the video than the algorithm. I believe someone who just consistently makes good and valuable videos and packages them well will eventually find some sort of success on YouTube. It's just a matter of taking every failure as a learning opportunity, having better and better ideas, and finding small ways to optimize. The algorithm might leave behind a few good videos, but it will eventually find a good, consistent creator, because at the end of the day, you and the algorithm want the same thing. It has no incentive to hide great content that would keep people engaged on their platform. It wants people to watch videos, you just need to prove that your videos are worth watching. The one piece of advice I think is most important is just to start creating content. I am one of those people who has always wanted to make YouTube videos. When I was in elementary school, I would make skits with my friends in my backyard because we wanted to be like Smosh. When I was in middle school, I started learning more advanced editing that I'd never even really use. When I was in high school, I wrote so many scripts for video essays that I would never speak into a mic. It wasn't until this past year in 2024 that I finally decided to just push myself to upload one video. There are so many things that can stop you from even just getting started. What if it's not good enough? What if I'm not good enough? Am I ready? The answer to all of those questions is that your first video will probably not be good enough, and you'll never be ready if you don't just start. The only way to improve that outlook is if you actually start and allow yourself the chance to grow and learn. I mean, this goes for any creative endeavor. You won't get better at drawing, writing, or making music if you don't start with the worst thing you'll ever make. Take your first step, and your 100th step will thank you for it. Thanks a ton to everyone who has supported my first year of making videos. If you're new from the Scribblenauts video, I hope you enjoyed getting little snippets of how I got here. If you've been here for a while, then wow, you've been on quite the content roller coaster, huh? And to anyone that is here for YouTube advice, I hope anything I said came across as coherent and my experiences were valuable to you. I want my channel and this video to serve as proof that it's not too late to start, and that anyone could truly find growth on YouTube if they just give themselves that chance. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, sub, comment, feed the engagement machine, and I will see you later this month for a new challenge run video.